Welcome to the Appliance Repair Academy. In this lesson, we replace the glow bar oven igniter on a GE freestanding gas range model JGB660 DEPWW. The igniter is a silicon carbide bar that has two jobs. It heats up to glow red, and it draws enough current to open the safety gas valve. When it weakens with age, it still glows, but it cannot open the valve, so the oven never lights. By the end of this lesson, you will diagnose, replace, and verify the glow bars safely.
Tools and safety. You need a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, a 1/4-inch nut driver, a clamp-on ACM meter that reads 10ths of an amp, a digital multimeter, a small bottle of soap solution and a brush, safety glasses, work gloves, and a flashlight. The range runs on 120 volts of electrical control power and on either natural gas or LP gas. Both energy sources must be shut off and verified before you touch the igniter.
Symptoms. 3 customer complaints point you straight at the glow bar igniter. First, the oven will not heat at all while the surface burners work normally. Second, you hear a soft click when the oven calls for heat, but no flame appears. Third, you see a weak orange glow at the back of the oven that never gets bright enough to ignite the gas. All 3 add up to one diagnosis: a tired igniter.
Why amp draw matters more than ohms. A glow bar igniter sits in series with the oven safety gas valve. The valve only opens when enough current flows through the circuit to pull its bimetal latch. A new igniter pulls between 3.2 and 3.6 amps. An old igniter still passes some current and still glows, but pulls only 2.8 amps or less. That is not enough to open the valve, so an ohms test alone is useless. You must measure amps.
Gas shutoff. Look behind the range for the gas supply valve. It is a 1/4-turn ball valve on the 1/2-inch black iron pipe or the flexible connector. Rotate the handle so it is perpendicular to the pipe. That is the off position. Then open the oven door, turn the oven thermostat to a heat setting for 10 seconds to bleed pressure from the line, then turn it back to off.
Cord and plug lockout. Pull the range about a foot away from the wall to expose the electrical cord. Unplug the standard 120-volt 3-prong cord from the wall outlet. Apply a red lockout tag at the plug end with your name and the date. Verify the controls are dead by trying to start a surface burner. No spark, no click. You now have 0 ignition energy in the appliance. Remove the oven door for access. Open the door fully, then look at the hinge arms on each side. Flip the small lock levers on each hinge to the up position. Now close the door to about the broil position. The door lifts straight up and off the hinges. Set it on a blanket on the floor with the glass side up. This gives you full access to the oven cavity.
Remove the racks and the oven floor. Pull both wire racks straight out and set them aside. Then look at the porcelain enameled oven floor. On this platform, it lifts straight out, no screws. Lift the front edge first to clear the rear locator tabs. Then pull it forward and up. Set it on the bracket on top of the door.
Locate the bake burner tube and igniter. With the floor out, you see the bake burner. It is a long stainless steel U-shaped tube that runs the width of the oven cavity at the bottom. Mounted at the rear left end of that tube, sitting in a metal bracket aimed at the gas ports, is the glow bar igniter. It looks like a thin, black or gray ceramic bar inside a small wire cage.
Photograph everything. Before you touch the igniter, take a phone picture of the bracket orientation, the wire routing, and how the ceramic wire nuts sit. The igniter is positioned very precisely relative to the gas ports. If you install the new one in the wrong spot, the flame will not catch even with a brand new igniter. This photo saves the day.
Disconnect the ceramic wire nuts. The igniter has two leads, and each lead is joined to a wire from the oven harness with a porcelain ceramic wire nut wrapped in fiberglass mica tape. The ceramic is required because the connection runs hot. Unwrap the mica tape carefully. Then, untwist the porcelain nut. Set the porcelain nut and the mica wrap in your parts tray.
Remove the igniter bracket. The glow bar bracket is held to the burner support by two 1/4-inch hex head screws. Remove both, support the bracket with your other hand so it does not drop, and lift the assembly out through the oven cavity. Move slowly. Silicon carbide is the second hardest material on Earth, but it is also extremely brittle. The slightest knock against the burner tube will crack it.
Compare old and new glow bars. Lay them side by side on a clean towel. The old one usually shows dark, dull patches or thinning at the middle of the bar where it ran hottest. A new bar is uniform gray-white silicon carbide. Confirm the bracket geometry, the lead length, and the wire connector type match. A correct replacement is a direct drop-in fit.
Critical handling rule. Never touch the silicon carbide bar with your bare fingers. Oils from your skin burn into the surface on the first heat cycle and create hot spots that shorten the life. Handle only the ceramic base block of the new igniter. Pick it up by the bracket. If you accidentally touch the bar, wipe it clean with a dry alcohol pad before you install it.
Install the new igniter bracket. Position the new bracket exactly where the old one sat, with the bar parallel to the burner tube and aimed at the gas ports. Hand start both 1/4-inch hex screws first to avoid cross-threading the burner support. Then snug them down. Tug the bracket to confirm it does not move.
Reconnect the ceramic wire nuts. Strip the new igniter leads only if needed. Then twist each lead together with its matching harness wire. Thread a porcelain nut down firmly until you cannot turn it anymore by hand. Wrap each connection with a fiberglass mica tape to seal it from heat and moisture. Verify the wire routing matches your photo.
Visual inspection before close-up. Look at the igniter from the bake burner perspective. The bar should be parallel to the burner tube and offset about 3/8 of an inch from the gas port row. If it is closer, the flame will scorch the bar. If it is farther, the flame will not catch. Take a final photo for your records.
Reinstall oven floor and racks. Drop the porcelain oven floor back in, rear tabs first, then press the front down. Slide both wire racks back into their guides. Slide the oven door back onto the hinge arms and flip the hinge lock levers back down to the locked position. Close the door and confirm it seals against the gasket.
Restore gas and power. Rotate the gas supply valve a 1/4 turn back to the open position so the handle is parallel to the pipe. Brush soap solution onto the supply connection and watch for bubbles for 30 seconds. No bubbles means no leak. If you see bubbles, shut off the gas and tighten the joint. Then plug the power cord back into the outlet.
Amp draw test. Open the oven door briefly to vent any gas. Then call the oven for bake at 350 degrees. Clip your ACM meter around either one of the two igniter leads. Watch the display. A healthy new glow bar pulls between 3.2 and 3.6 amps within 60 seconds. If you see less than 3.2, the new igniter is defective. Send it back.
Verify ignition. Within 60 to 90 seconds of the heat call, you should see the igniter glowing bright orange, hear the gas valve click open, and watch a steady blue flame ignite along the burner tube. The flame should be quiet and even, no yellow tips, no flutter. Yellow tips mean the air shutter is wrong, not an igniter problem. Let the oven run for 10 minutes to confirm steady operation.
References and closeout. For documentation, cite the JGB660 DEPWW tech sheet, OSHA 29 CFR 1910.147 for lockout-tagout, NFPA 70E for electrical safety, NFPA 54, the National Fuel Gas Code for appliance work, and NEC Article 422 for appliance branch circuits. Always log the soap bubble leak check and the app draw reading on your service ticket. That documentation is your protection. See you in the next lesson.